So we are live. Okay, all right. So thank you everyone for being on time, those who are on time. And we hope that the other invited persons will join along as we go. So I'm Anilek Wilmot, and I'm excited to share today the progress on work that we've been doing with the CPAG team, the Marine Protected Areas Network in Jamaica as well. And I'll just do a quick run through of the agenda for today. It's quite simple, so should run smoothly. So we'll start with an overview of the project that the Oracabessa Marine Trust is currently in the final stages of wrapping up, but our engagement with this project was, through our project funded by the Global Environment Facility. And then we'll have Hyacinth Armstrong Vaughan, who will be making a presentation on CPAG, the history and the purpose. And then we'll have, I will speak a little bit about the Jamaica Marine Protected Areas Network, just a quick overview. And then we'll have a demonstration of the CPAG Jamaica Marine Protected Areas Dashboard, and followed by a question and answer session. So to begin with, we could have a round of introductions where can state your name and your affiliation. So to begin, I'm Anilek Wilmot. I'm with the Oracabessa Marine Trust, and been one of the partners working on this project. So next, I'll just go through the list of names here in alphabetical order. First name, alphabetical order. We have Andres Aldana, if I pronounce that right.
Yes, yes. Good morning, good morning. Again, my name is Andres Aldana, and I am the Technology Solutions Manager for the Turnef Atoll Sustainability Association, and we are located in Belize.
Okay, great. Happy to have you.
Yes, yes.
Hyacinth.
Good morning, everyone. Hyacinth Armstrong Vaughan, working for IUCN, and I'll be giving some feedback, at least some introductions on the CPAG a little later. So pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Tori Brian Carter.
I'm Tori Brian Carter, Technical Officer at IUCN. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Donovan Brandon Hay. Brandon.
Yes, hello.
Hey, Brandon. Yeah, we're just doing a round of introductions.
Yes, Brandon here, Sanctuary Manager at CCAM Foundation in the Portland Bike Protected Area.
Thank you. And we have Hyacinth Douglas here. Hi, Hyacinth. Are you able to unmute your mic and introduce yourself?
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for the invite, Anilek. I'm Hyacinth Douglas. I'm the National Coordinator for the GEF Small Grants Program in Jamaica.
Thank you, Hyacinth. We have Ivana Odell.
Hello, everyone.
Yes,
Ivana Odell, you got it right. I am with Pellucid IT Inc., and we're affiliated with CPAG.
All right. Next, we have Kwabena.
You almost got it.
Yeah, I think.
But Kwab for short. So my name is Kwabena Adu. I'm a principal software engineer at Lucid IT. And for the past 3 years, I've had the wonderful adventure of serving on the engineering team at CPAG. And I'm excited that Oh, it's been an exciting journey for the past 3 years. You have get an opportunity to bring all my interest in software engineering into this space, this environment and biology space. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. We have Lynette Roth. Thanks.
Yes. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Lynette Roth, and I am the database and GIS manager for AGRA. So thank you for having me.
Hi, Lynette. Good to have you. Glad you could join today.
Yes, very excited to see what this is all about. I'm pumped.
Thanks. So we have Mikhail Jobson.
Yes, good morning, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm Mikhail Jobson from See the Change Foundation in Falmouth. I'm the executive director as well. Sorry, I forgot to mention.
Thanks, Mikhail. Norman Norris.
Morning, everybody. My name is Norman Norris, and I work with the Suffrage Marine Reserve MPA in Dominica. Thanks for the invite.
Thanks, Norman. Glad to have you. Ode Millington.
Hi, good morning. I am an intern with Pellucid IT.
Thank you, Ode. Ricardo Hickling.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Ricardo. I'm a scientific officer with the UE Discovery Bay Marine Lab.
Great. Thanks, Ricardo. Trison Walters.
Good morning, everyone. Trison Walters here from Galleon St. Elizabeth Fish Sanctuary, manager of Galleon Fish Sanctuary. And I'm happy to be here, happy to learn today, and a pleasure to be in such great audience. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for being here, Trison. And Valdemar Andrade.
Hi, good morning. Valdemar Andrade from the Ternafutl Sustainability Association. Thank you very much.
Thank you. His accent sounds Belizean, is that right?
Yes, Belizean, correct.
Okay, great. Thanks for being here. All right, I think we had a couple persons join, just scanning over. There's Alex Silveira. Yeah, Alec, are you able to unmute and introduce yourself? Oh, mic not up. Okay. All right, you could just type in the chat your affiliation so we can be aware. And we have Andre Sorendra.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Andre Sorendra. I'm a fisheries officer at the Ministry of Agriculture, Guyana.
Okay, great to have you, Andre. All right, so we are, okay, Alex Silveira, Environmental Officer with CL Environmental, which is an environmental consulting entity in Jamaica. All right, so we have quite a diverse group of stakeholders here, and I think it's we're very happy for the opportunity to share the progress that we've made so far on this, what is an ongoing project. So I'll jump right into it. I'm going to start with a short presentation on the project that started this all for us here at Oracabessa, which is a small grants program funded project. Let me just share my screen. Okay. All right, so very quickly, the project the title is Improving the Management Mechanism of Jamaica's Network of Marine Protected Areas through Increasing Capacity for Collaborative Ecological Monitoring. And this grant, we started it in 2024, and we are actually wrapping up at the end of this month. So this is the final activity for us sharing in the outcomes of the project. I'm with the Oracabessa Marine Trust, and which is a partnership between Oracabessa, Fishers Association and GoldenEye Foundation, and we manage the Oracabessa Bay Fish Sanctuary protected area. So the project had three main outcomes that we were aiming for. The first is increased ecological monitoring capacity of Jamaica's network of marine protected areas. And we achieved this by conducting training in AGRA and reef check among about 32 or so staff members across 10 marine protected areas, the National Environment and Planning Agency and the National Fisheries Authority. And the second and the third outcomes are what today's workshop is about. So more effective data collection and data management. So we had done some data collection under the project in 3 MPAs, as well as working with CPAG to develop some data management tools. And through CPAG also, we are increasing the capacity to report on Jamaica's progress towards the sustainable development goals by increasing the availability and accessibility of data from marine protected areas. So just this basically reiterates what I said, but these are a couple photos from trainings that had gone on before. And just to mention that following our trainings under this project, NEPA followed up with a training of trainers course with AGRA. So we actually have more persons in Jamaica now who are certified or being certified as trainers. So that will even allow us to expand the impact of this project. We also were able to procure some monitoring equipment for different MPAs. So data management and reporting on the SDGs, these 2 goals. Our partnership with CPAG grew out of discussions that started between myself and Julian Walcott at the International Marine Protected Areas Congress in Canada in 2023. We started discussions and we realized that the mission of CPAG aligned with the needs of the Jamaica Marine Protected Area Network. And so there was a natural synergy there. And also realized that for us in Jamaica, CPAG serves as an important pipeline for data to the world database on protected areas. And we know that in Jamaica, the data on the world database is lacking. There's a number of protected areas that just do not have any data. And then some of the data we realized was incorrect as well. However, we had one condition. While we as the MPA managers in Jamaica are quite eager to provide data to be accessible by policymakers and international level stakeholders, which we see as value going up, us providing information up the chain. We also need functional tools that add value to our MPA management systems. And so we see this as we need value coming down as well as going up. And so that was one of the main things that through our discussions with CPAG, we realized that there was an opportunity to create this value. And from all the outcomes of this project, I personally feel that the functional data management that we're able to achieve through this partnership is the most impactful outcome that we are achieving. And I must say thanks again to the Small Grants Program, the Jamaica GEF Small Grants Program, for funding, because we started the discussions in 2023, but I had to continue the discussions with the GEF Small Grants Program in Jamaica, and they bought in and funded the work that we've been able to do. All right, so just wanted to also thank the National Environment and Planning Agency, National Fisheries Authority, the Jamaican Marine Protected Areas Network. We have a couple managers here today. The Caribbean Protected Areas Gateway, the team has been amazing. Biopalm and IUCN by extension, the Bud Family Foundation, the Discovery Bay Marine Lab, and of course, AGRA. So that is a quick introduction to where we started, how we got here from the side of the Jamaican partnership. So if there are no questions, I I would just turn over to Hyacinth to speak a little bit about how the perspective from the CPAG side.
Boy, I like you put me on the spot.
Oh, sorry, Hyacinth. There's
Thank
two
you.
Hyacinths. There's two Hyacinths here, but Hyacinth Vaughn from the second the other Hyacinth. Yeah. But stand by, Hyacinth, because I'm gonna ask you to say some words as well.
I've never been in a meeting with two Hyacinths before, so this is
it's a rare
unusual.
Oh, thank you so much, Ainulek and Hyacinth as well for supporting this initiative through the GEF SGP. So my task really is just to give folks an idea of the CPAG if you're not familiar with it. So the Caribbean Protected Areas Gateway, or CPAG as we call it, is the Caribbean's Center of Excellence for Biodiversity. It was established in 2014 under the BioPharma program. BioPharma is Biodiversity and Protected Areas Management Program. That is a global initiative of the Organization of Africa, Caribbean, and Pacific States, funded by the European Union under the 10th and 11th European Development Fund. And BioPharma is wrapping up this year. We wrapped up our work in the Caribbean at the end of 2024. And the Caribbean Protected Areas Gateway was one of our key deliverables and key achievements under BioPharma. So BioPharma was hosted by the University of the West Indies during the course of implementation of BioPharma and operated out of the Center for Resource Management and Environmental Studies. So CPAG, as a regional hub, primarily for protected areas research and innovation, provides secure online access to biodiversity information and knowledge, such as species, habitats, threats, information on the management and governance areas. It maintains robust ecological, socioeconomic, and governance data. And that data and information facilitates and promotes better decision-making and viable decisions. And we also promote through the CPAG networking and communications. So that what you're looking at is really a timeline of the evolution of the CPAG under BioPharma. So I won't go into the details there. You can have a read through as I go ahead. And now from its inception to now, pretty much the CPAG has helped 12 Caribbean countries update their protected area data in the World Database on Protected Areas hosted by the UNEP World Conservation Monitoring Center. They've developed functional protected area management effectiveness, socioeconomic monitoring, conservation tracking tools and modules. They've collated and published over 300 data sets related to protected areas and biodiversity conservation. We've engaged over 300 professionals and practitioners and helped improve their capacity for data collection, analysis, and use of the CPAG tools and services, and you'll get a continuation of that through this process today. And global publications such as the 2020 and 2024 Protected Planet reports. These are produced by the UNEP World Conservation Monitoring Center as part of their response to the Convention on Biological Diversity and the status of protected areas globally. They have benefited from data and analyses carried out by the CPAG for the Caribbean region. So the CPAG is well positioned to continue to strengthen supporting the Caribbean region. We're going to be moving our hosting operations from the University of the West Indies to the OECS Commission, where CPAG will form an integral part of the OECS's regional environmental information architecture, and by extension, support the CARICOM Secretariat in its new role as the sub-regional technical and scientific cooperation center, support center for the Convention on Biological Diversity. So the CPAG is well positioned and will be well positioned to ensure that data and information in the region for decision making is sustained and strengthened. So with that, I want to just invite you all to continue to actively engage with the CPAG, explore the platform. You'll get a feel for what is available through today's event, but there's more to it than what you'll see today, and definitely invite you to engage, explore the platform, use the data as you're using the data, you have your queries, you have your requests, please feel free to share that with the team. And once we are set up within the OECS Commission officially, hopefully later this year, definitely engage with us through the OECS Commission. So thank you very much to INELEC and Oracabessa for Marine Trust for advancing with this work with the CPAG team. And I'm looking forward to seeing the fruits of this labor continue to support other sites and the region as a whole. So thank you. You're muted.
Okay, I realize. Thank you. Thanks, Hyacinth. All right, so I'd like to invite Hyacinth Douglas just to say a few words now. The SGP program in Jamaica has been one of the primary supporters of marine protected areas in Jamaica over the last decade. And even as we speak, we have new projects starting in 2025 that support several fish sanctuaries. So with that said, I'll just invite Hyacinth, who is the national coordinator and really the person who's enabled a lot of the work that we have done. So Hyacinth, may you just say a few words?
Thank you, INELEC, and good morning again, colleagues. You let me, I'm having more goosebumps than words. My God. Anyway, first of all, I want to congratulate the Oracabessa Trust and their partners, because you are why we are so proud. And when we talk about getting a bottoms-up approach, finding the solutions at the community level, this is just a classic example. And I think the Caribbean ought to be proud of what we're doing. Oftentimes, one of the things that I know, our partners, governments, and so I knock out against, consultancies and ignoring natural resources. People, when you talk about natural resources, they're also your people. And I can say what has taken the group this far is the infusion of local knowledge. And I think they have been so consistent. We've been working with the group since 2008. And nobody would have thought that this group, a community group, could take this level of knowledge to this level. And I hope that as we, talk as a region, we should also practice as a region, the CARICOM. I hope this example will be, I wouldn't say start, will be a strong continuation of how integration, or what integration looks like in how we protect what really means, a lot to us, our natural resources, which includes our people, not just the flora and fauna. And we will continue to support the group, and we want to, we're actually in the process working with our government for them to have Oracabessa, be endorsed as a model within the Caribbean, where we need to move across and see what we're doing, and to help to establish these type of, establishments, protecting our waters, protecting our, food for people, fishermen. I mean, when you listen to a fisherman in Oracabessa, he said a sanctuary is like his bank account. I mean, when a group can tell you that, why can't, all of us should just see it as an example and take it on. It's our responsibility. I visited the site and I felt so proud. when we looked at it so much. And, you know, this is why supporting these communities, you see real results. They are meaningful, they're impactful, not just at the community level, at all levels. They have changed policies. They're in the process of, you know, establishing several sanctuaries based on this model. However, what was missing? Data. If you don't have data to continue and for persons to replicate, I mean, it's like the person who came up with it, gone with it. So it's one of the practices working with our community groups is how do you capture data and store it or, you know, process it? And when INELEC came and said, you know, this is what they want, and I said, I didn't have any doubt because working with them for so many years, built their capacity, they understand their environment, they understand the commitments that the government have signed on to. They can challenge the government, they can advise the government. You know, we had no choice. This is when groups like this put you in a position where you have no choice. You just have to support. And that's what we did. We had to support the groups and we continue to support the groups because it is so impactful, not just in Jamaica, regionally. And we're looking for other countries to come on board. And for those I can see and I heard other countries, I hope that you can share this information. It's been recorded, Ainele. Share
Yes,
this information because we do like exchanges, peer-to-peer exchanges, because we have several of them and I know other countries are doing it. But let's use this as example that we can do. Integration can be real and it's practical and it's doable. How much money? Groups just ask the groups. I mean, they will tell you. If you listen to probably governments, they will tell you unreachable sums. But communities demonstrate how you can use very little and achieve a lot. So I encourage all just to continue to support these type of initiatives in our region and help build our region with what is going on now. I mean, we need to look into our own space and leave people space alone. We leave our regions and go build other regions. Let's stay in it. We have everything to build it. So this is a typical example. And I urge everyone to just continue to support each other and let's build our region. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks a lot, Hyacinth. Very impactful words there. And yeah, we have some rounds of applause going up, so that's good. Okay, so I'm just going to say a couple sentences about the wider network because though we are Oracabessa Marine Trust, we very much wrote this this grant proposal and with our talks with GEF, you know, it was very important that we impacted not just our space but across the network. And so I must acknowledge, you know, those who are here. Trician Walters from I think he dropped out, but he was from the Fish Sanctuary, Galleon Fish Sanctuary in St. Elizabeth. There's Donovan, Brandon Hay. They manage 3 fish sanctuaries, marine protected areas on the south coast of Jamaica. And we had very many marine protected areas in Jamaica that participated. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that it was a group effort. And we are a network of marine protected areas that are legally established under a couple different laws. We have the marine parks, which are under the laws administered by the National Environment and Planning Agency. And then we have fish sanctuaries, which are under the National Fisheries Authority, under our Fisheries Act. The vast majority of our marine protected areas are fish sanctuaries, which are established as fisheries management tools. So they have the stated objective of increasing fish biomass for the benefit of local fishing communities, which is a very narrow and specific objective. And one of the reasons why they've been successful in Jamaica is because the objective is very clear and it is the fishers will buy into it because they are seen as an important beneficiary, and so we try to work with them. And the majority of the fish sanctuaries are actually managed by NGOs. The government has taken an approach to partner with the communities through NGOs to manage the marine protected areas. A few of them are managed by the government, but that model has proved to be very successful, and I think it was a very good approach by the government of Jamaica. And so each organization is managed within their local community context, according to the needs of that community by the stakeholders who are present on the ground in the community. And so engaging in this project, it was a very interesting process because we had to bring everyone to the table and have discussions around developing data management tools that are functional for each community group. And so that today is what we're going to see today is, I would say, the beginning, because we have had discussions about many features that we want the website to provide to the managers. And I know that the CPAG team is working on these features. So what we're seeing today is going to be the tip of an iceberg that will emerge in the coming, year and years. So I'll at this time turn over to the demonstration of the website in action, and this will be done by Ivana.
Good morning to everyone again. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So it's so great to be here in this meeting. We've had such great presentations already, and I'm feeling a bit nervous. So I hope I can do justice to this demonstration. But I just want to say thank you to everyone for your time. We know that there is lots to do in the environmental and conservation space, and sometimes little hands. So the fact that you've given your time to be here, we really appreciate it. My name is Ivana Odo again, and I am with Pellucid IT Inc. I'm a project manager at Pellucid. And for those of you who may be wondering, the word pellucid simply means clear. It means translucently clear. So what we like to do, what we hope to do in everything that we do, is to develop technological solutions and innovative solutions that are clear, that are presented with clarity. And as Kwab, my colleague earlier would have mentioned, Pellucid had the opportunity to work with CPAG in the development of what we know as the Resources Information Hub, which is on my screen right now. As Hyacinth Armstrong Vaughan would have mentioned before, and there are several tools at your disposal. One of the notable tools that we would have been able to help develop would be the Conservation Tracking Dashboard and the Biodiversity Dashboard, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. And today we will be taking you through the new CPAG MPA Dashboard. Without further delay, I will jump into that. So it is one of our tools. So you go to the top menu bar, and you would see it here, Marine Protected Areas Dashboard. So I'll click on that. And that will take us to the landing page. On the landing page, we have some statistics on what is currently available on the dashboard. We see that there are currently 12 protected areas, 29 monitoring sites across those protected areas, 9 reports, and then we have a statistics that shows what number of those reports are reef check reports. We say reef check at the moment because reef check is what we are supporting, but there are other reports that we will support, and I will share a bit more about that later. These 12 marine protected areas and monitoring sites were uploaded in day 1 of the workshop that we had last week, Wednesday. So I just want to say thanks to those from the Jamaica MPA network and others who were in attendance to help us populate the dashboard with these protected areas. And you can click here to navigate to the section of the page that outlines all of the protected areas that are on the dashboard. But let's go back up. At this section here, we can select the country. Right now, we only have Jamaica, but in the future, we would like to be able to portray marine protected information for all of the countries across the Caribbean. And I'd also like to say here that we would like to expand beyond marine protected areas and also support terrestrial protected areas as well. So below this summary of Jamaica's marine protected areas, we have a map. And on this map, we can see polygons for marine protected areas in blue and terrestrial protected areas in green. And we also can see some pins here that correspond to the monitoring sites in these different areas. So let me zoom into Montego Bay. In the future, we'll be able to click on a pin and then click view details, and that would navigate to a designated page for that monitoring site. But right now that we won't be able to do that as yet. This map can also enter full screen mode, and you can zoom in and zoom out as well using the functionalities at the side. You can also see here the source of the information. The majority of these polygons are from the WDPA protected planet, but we also have some updated information from Discovery Bay Marine Laboratory. The smaller polygon that you can see in the background is what is uploaded on the protected planet platform. But in our session, we were able to identify that it's actually much wider, the Discovery Bay area. And so that's also one of the valuable things about exercises like this, that we can catch where data may need to be updated and do what Anilek mentioned before in terms of having that data come through CPAG and be sent to the protected planet. Okay, so now we're going to explore the marine protected areas. Here are the 12 MPAs that were created last week, Wednesday. For each of the MPAs, we have the name, we can see the number of monitoring sites that are there, and the WDPA ID if it exists, and then a button that would allow us to view the details. For this demonstration, I'm going to use Oracabessa Bay Fish Sanctuary. So let's click on View Details, and that will take me to the Oracabessa Bay Fish Sanctuary page, which also has a WDPA ID here for easy access. We have an overview of the fish sanctuary, some information about the location, the monitoring sites, and the number of reports that have been processed. And in the future, we would also like to add the number of staff members in that protected area, and also contact information for the MPA manager. And that would be an email or a contact number. Then we come to the 3 monitoring sites within Oracabessa. And it is automatically selecting the first site, which in this case is Commander Reef. To view the charts, you can click on View Charts, but since it's on Commander Reef, we can scroll down and see what kind of data we have here. So we have some information about the longitude and latitude, a summary about the reef, and here we have some charts for the reef check substrate survey for Commander Reef. And these charts that are here are the charts that are generated by Reef Check. Those who are familiar with Reef Check would know that in the spreadsheet, there is a tab called Graphs, and those graphs are generated based on the data that is inputted into the spreadsheet. So all of those charts are here, but we are not limited to those reef check charts. And what we want to be able to do is to take that data and present it in ways that would be valuable for you. We want to be able to help you answer the questions that you need answered for your purposes, for your reporting, for your monitoring. And so we can take this data and visualize it in different ways. And one of the ideas that we have is, we see here that we have a filter for selecting by year. And for reef check, I believe it's done once a year. So let's say we have reef check surveys for Commander Reef for 2024, 2023, 22, 21, going back 10 years. We could, for example, create a time series chart that shows the mean percentage cover of substrates over 10 years. So that's an example of a chart that could be valuable, that could be included in a report. And whatever other ways, whatever other questions that you need answered, this is where you come in to get your feedback and to find out how we can, find different ways to present data. Another way that we can look at presenting data on this platform is there's more than one types of monitoring protocols. We know about reef check, and there's AGRA as well. What if we could take data from the same year for both reef check and AGRA at the same reef and combine that data into one chart? If that is something that would be useful for you, that is another idea of how we can present data on this platform. Okay. You can also download the charts to include in your reports, and you'll be able to see the source here at the bottom. Okay. If there's a site that has no reports uploaded, this is what it would look like. You would have to then upload your, in this case, reef chart reports, and then you'd be able to see those charts show up here. At the bottom, we have a link to the dashboard homepage. In the future, you would be able to see reports here and also access documentation. Right now, these two buttons are not engaged, but they will be. But for now, let me navigate back to the homepage and continue at the bottom. Right, at the bottom, we have two login buttons, one that says login for MPA staff and login for government agencies. And that is so that you know that you can, both MPA staff and government agencies will have a login dashboard space. For MPA staff, you'd be able to have access to details related to your MPA. And for government officials, they'll be able to see details for all MPAs. So let us log in. There's also the option to log in at the top here. This site pop up. You can click MPA Manager Login. Good. So this is the login page. In order to log in, we will have to create the MPA space for you, like what was done in the workshop last week, Wednesday. And you would also have to, I guess, sign up with us so that we can create your login credentials to be able to access the page. In the future, you would also be able to sign in with Google, but not quite yet. So what I will do is I will sign in, and for the purpose of this demonstration, I will be an MPA manager at Oracabessa Bay Fish Sanctuary. In the event that you are entering your password and it's wrong or you're not getting in, we now have this view your password feature that you can click on it and it will remain there for you to make your edits. And then after a few seconds, it will, it's 10 seconds, it will go back to hidden view. Okay, let's log in. Here we are on the Oracabessa Bay login Dashboard. We have the WDP and ID here again, and a welcome message for me. And you can also log out here. Below that, you can select the marine protected area that you'd like to see. In some cases, there may be some users that are affiliated with more than one protected area. Here is where you'll be able to filter for that. And then we have some statistics here, the monitoring sites. We know there are 3, the total number of reports, the number of reports that are published, and the number of staff members. But it's 5 because I'm here as well. Okay, below that, we have a map view that would be bound to my protected area in this case, which is Oracabessa. And then right below that table, we have some information about the monitoring sites, the 3 monitoring sites that are uploaded, their coordinates, and the number of reports for each site. We also have a column with actions, which aren't engaged at the moment, but they will be in the future. This first icon will allow you to navigate to the designated page for the monitoring site that we looked at before with the charts. And then this pin will allow you to zoom in to the location to the monitoring site on the map. Below that, here is where we upload the spreadsheets. So we have, right now, as I was saying earlier, we have recheck supported, but these are some other monitoring protocols that we will be supporting soon. We're currently working on AGRA. There's also SandWatch, SOCMON, CARICOM, which is the Caribbean Coastal Marine Productivity Program, CPAG, Caribbean Planning for Adaptation to Climate Change, etc. And if there are other monitoring protocols that should be added, you can always let us know. But yes, so you will select on the report type that you're uploading first. And then we have the option here to select the monitoring site. In this case, I'm going to upload a spreadsheet for Commander Reef. So I'll select Commander Reef. The report type, I'm going to upload a fish and invertebrates spreadsheet. And then I can choose the file. So I will now navigate to my spreadsheet. Here's my fish and invert spreadsheet here. And then I'll click upload file, and the file has been uploaded successfully. And we can see down here below in the reports table that it is pending. It is currently being processed. And this is the one other report that we saw earlier that was uploaded for substrate, right? In order to, it takes about 10 to 15 seconds to process. So what I'll do is refresh the page, and we can see that it has been processed. In the future, we won't need to refresh, but for now, you'll have to refresh to see the processing status. Good, so we see the date that I uploaded it, the date, the observation date of the particular survey. And here we can see whether it is published or unpublished. And then we have some actions here as well. For this download button, you will be able to download exactly what was uploaded. But in the future, we will also think about other ways that you can, other types of files that you can download, whether they be like reports, or if there's another way that we can present data that has been uploaded via the spreadsheets, and you want to have an option to download a different type of document, that is something that we're looking to implement in the future. Next to that, we have the unpublish button. If you wanted to unpublish a report, you can click it here, confirm that you want to unpublish, and you can see that the status has changed. So what does that mean? Well, a published report means that you can see the charts that are associated with the report that has been uploaded. So if you want to unpublish, then the charts will not be visible. If you're ready to publish again, you can publish. And then there's an option to delete reports. Only MPA managers will be able to see this option and not MPA staff. So what I'll do now is I will show you what would happen if I upload a spreadsheet that would be rejected. So let's go with Commander Reef again. Let's do water quality. Water quality here is not a reef check report. This is the water quality that is collected by, that is done by NEPA, but we've included it here since we've included the support for that spreadsheet upload. But in this case, I'm going to upload a spreadsheet that is wrong. Good. So it's been successfully uploaded. Let's refresh the page, but it has been rejected. So you can click on the rejected button to be able to see an error message or a reason for why your spreadsheet was rejected. In that case, it was a blank spreadsheet, so there's no data in it at all. So that's why I got that message. So here I will demonstrate deleting these reports. Let's do that. And there we go. One of the things that we want to do in the future as well is to, well, either we want to make your life easier, right? When it comes to filling out reports, if there are ways that we can, let's say, for example, there are reports that you have to fill out that have the same information. You want to be able to populate those fields, those cells, those sections of the report that have similar information without you having to fill it out more than once. So we'll make the provision for you to upload information about a site, for example, once, and then you won't have to do that again. And then it could be, if there's like another monitoring protocol that needs that similar information, it will be able to pull from that, so you don't have to input that data again. I hope I'm making sense. Another way that we would like to make your life easier is, we know that for the reef check reports and AGRA, there is a specific spreadsheet that you have to fill out. Maybe there may be a way that we can make that easier for you, where you can upload data to the platform, and then it generates the reef check spreadsheets for you, or the AGRA spreadsheets for you, for example. So at the end of the day, what we want to do is make your life easier. And if there are ways that you can see, hey, this is a need that we have, wonder if we can have this tool. That kind of feedback is something that we would love to hear from you. Okay, and then at the bottom here, if you'd like to go back to the public dashboard view, you can click here, and that will take you back to the CPAG MPA dashboard page. Okay, I believe that I have covered everything. So thank you so much for your attention. And at this time, I will open the floor for questions or suggestions.
Hi, good morning. Tamara Miles from NEPA. I wanted to find out if, sorry about that. I wanted to find out if government agencies will also have the option to delete report.
No, I would defer to ANILEC, but my understanding is that you can download from any.
So the government does manage directly some MPAs. So for example, the Oracabessa Marine Park, or the Port Royal Protected Area, they would have the access just as a manager for those sites. But for information that the protected area managers would upload, then the government wouldn't be able to just delete that. But those are some conversations that we'll need to continue to have, because I think we need to work out the details as far as the access to the data and the ability to publish and download and all of that. Yeah, there are certain permissions and capabilities that we're still discussing. Yeah.
Yeah, if Ivy, can I chime in as well?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So as you all appreciate, as we will all appreciate, these policies will differ from country to country. So maybe in Belize, they would not want like agencies, government agencies, to be able to even download stuff or whatever. So we have that in mind. One of the advantages for us is that because like we're in different countries, but because we have access to the UE talent pool, so we get all these different engineers and scientists from all over, so they're able to bring in different perspectives so that we build the things such a way that it works, it meets the needs in the different countries. So right, so it will not be the same policy for every country. Another thing is that beyond the ability to get analytics from the reports that are uploaded, the other huge thing that the dashboard intends to do is to serve as a repository for data. Because sometimes there's a utility in just being able to have the data in a place where it's securely kept and where it's going to be backed up, and where you avoid the situation where the data is on someone's laptop and the laptop crashes, or someone leaves the organization and then they take the data with them, or they forget their password or whatever. So CPAG is now your secure repository for all of this data.
I see Douglas, see your hand is raised.
Thanks, Ira. Like, as I like, this is good information, data gathering, and we should ensure that it's shared widely, as it's a best practice as well. And I'm just thinking, Ira, and the team, are there any plans to, further, because these things are done with based on partnerships, very strong strategic partnerships. Are there any plans in mind to link it to other organizations where, where shared goals are and all of that stuff? Are there any plans? Because I would love for it to be linked to the GEF.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that one of the ways I'm thinking that we can use it is that all the protected area managers, we have to submit reports to the National Fisheries Authority. And it would be great if the National Fisheries Authority would just see this platform as the platform for reporting. So the managers will update their survey reports annually as part of the MOU with the NFA for management. And then I think the more we can link, I agree, the more we can link this the site to our regular workflow, the more valuable it will become and the stronger it will become as well. And yeah, definitely we're interested, Hyacinth, in linking to the projects as well that are also that GEF has supported. I see a hand up by Janelle. Janelle? I see it. Her mic is unmuted, but I'm not hearing her. I see Quab also has his hand up. Quab, you can go ahead.
Yes. Something you said earlier about, we're used to, or the MPA managers are used to submitting information, and the value, is going up, but then you also need the value coming down. And for us at CPAG, the value coming down for us is that we have a tool called the Conservation Tracking Dashboard. And that tool, allows you to see how the different countries are meeting the international targets that have been set for them. So Global 20 by 20, yes, SG, all the SD, is the different targets, right? And you find that a lot of times there's no data to report towards those targets, or even if there is, it's outdated, it's not. So what this does also for us is that as this data from the MPAs is coming into the system, it goes into, we have an engine called CPAG Butterfly, which is like an API service. And some of that, the information we're getting from here, then feeds into the engine that calculates and generates charts and information about, whether, say, Jamaica is actually meeting the targets in your NBSAP. So, Ivy, I don't know if you want to take a minute to just show us the conservation tracking dashboard. You're muted.
Hello. Yes, this is the conservation tracking dashboard. So we're doing a quick walkthrough. Okay, so we have 2 global MEAs uploaded, 2 Caribbean MEAs, and 13 MBSAPs. Here as well, you'll be able to see, to access the targets across the global, Caribbean, and MBSAP level. Yeah, the targets that exist in these different themes. And I think that's it. Let's click on agriculture. And then for agriculture, we'll be able to see all of the charts that we have that track progress towards agriculture related targets, right? And here we have a filter for country. But what I'd like to do is to show you, what we have for global MEAs. Right now, we have the Kunming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework and the UN Sustainable Development Goals with intentions to expand beyond that. So let's click on the Kunming Montreal. Right now, we have data for Target 3, which speaks about ensuring that 30% of areas are effectively conserved. So let's click on that target and see what we have for the Caribbean. So we have some information here about the indicator and what it really means, what it refers to, and then some gauges that show the progress that countries have made towards reaching that 30%. All of the countries, well, we have terrestrial here for Antigua and Barbuda, and marine here for Antigua and Barbuda. We go down, we see terrestrial for Bahamas, etc., etc. So to filter for your country, we have a filter here. Let's filter for Jamaica. And here we can see Jamaica's progress towards achieving that particular target. As before, you can download these charts to include in reports as well, and also see some information on where the data is coming from. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And then we have the site management plans as well. So the idea being that, well, all MPAs are supposed to have site management plans, and in those plans are targets. So as we are able to get in this information that you're already collecting and reporting to international agencies like AGRA and Reef Check and all those, we're then able to compute the information and then use it to answer the question, is Oracabessa meeting target 5 of their current NBSAP. So rather than having to do it in multiple places, the information comes into the system once, and then it's able to answer all those questions. And then where there's no data, then it becomes very clear. And then, CPAG will then work with you to find out, like what needs to be done to be able to collect that data so that it can come into the system and then be used to answer the questions that you have.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I think this speaks to Hyacinth Douglas' question about the linkages. And so, yeah, I think it will be very important that when we as the managers upload data at our login level, it feeds into the country level tracking towards the sustainable development goals. And just to say that, well, one comment before I address the Janelle typed her question. So some of the additional features that we are discussing and want to do is, as Quab had mentioned, having the management plan for the protected area. When you go on the protected area page, you can see the targets for the management plan, and we can track the progress towards each target under the management plan. Because what we have now is just monitoring data, but at some point we want to our active conservation. So if areas are planting mangroves or planting coral or doing any other type of rehabilitation work, we want to be able to show that, okay, we rehabilitated 2 hectares of mangroves this year, or so we can show the active work that we're doing as well as the monitoring work. All right, so the question from Janelle, she was asking about the feasibility of including sea surface temperature data to this platform. If it is, what format would it need to be? I think the answer would be yes. And in terms of the format of the data, I guess Kwab or Evan, you guys can speak to how we go about the formatting of the data.
So with regards to the formatting of the data, if you had asked this question like 4 or 5 years ago, it would be like a really big, because you don't want to, we're trying to do things in such a way that it makes the lives of the MPA managers easier. So it's like if you come up with one format and then you ask everyone to use it, some people may not like it, it may not work for some. But now, because of with all the AI tools and engines that are available now, it now allows us to be able to do things like, okay, well, Oracabessa, they have sea monitoring equipment, temperature equipment that generates data in this particular format. But then Discovery Bay, this generates data in JSON. So rather than having to say, okay, well, this is how it's going to be. So we come to you, and then you say, well, here's what our data is like. And to us, it doesn't make a difference. So you'll be able to then just upload the data. And then our engine then does all the processing, the calculation, and then spits it out. However, because there's a need to do cross comparisons, even though the source, the raw data might be in different formats, there will still be some degree of harmonization so that you can compare across MPAs and say, well, because like Discovery Bay is on one side, Oracabessa is on the other side. They're not like continents apart. So you want to be able to look at the data from the 2 MPAs and see, what trend lines. Like, is there a problem here, but it's not here? If it's not here, why is it not here? And then we can bring that kind of value. So.
And I just wanted to add that with the reef check data, we use that because it was just it's widely there's a large database, and I must thank again NEPA for providing quite a significant amount of data that we were able to use to train the protected area managers and start to populate the site. But all we do as the managers, we upload the spreadsheet, so we don't need to re-enter any data. Whatever format the data is in, we just take the spreadsheet and we hit upload and it adds it to the database. It creates all the graphs and all of that. So it's very easy for us as protected area managers to upload data and to manage data on the side. And I just wanted to say with AGRA, we recently just wrapped up some training of trainers with AGRA, and the AGRA has a website where once we collect the data, we upload the data into the AGRA website, and then we are able to get the spreadsheets downloaded. And so Lynette probably can comment to just say if I'm accurate. But yeah, so once we download that spreadsheet, we don't need as with the reef check example, we won't need to do anything more with it than just upload it to the CPAG website, and it will pull the data and create the graphs and so that format issue has been quite comfortable for us and very easy. So we, so far so good. As Hyacinth Vaughn, you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you. I want to say, first of all, congratulations to all of you for what you have been able to pull off so far. So what I will say at this point is this is exactly what the CPAG is meant to do. It's meant to be able to work with site level, national level, regional level, providing the data from the ground up. There's always discourse at the regional and international level that there isn't data for the Caribbean, not accurate, not up to date, not robust data that can be used to inform decisions. That is not the case, but it's the format in which that data is available. And so this is an example of how we are starting to make that information available, not just only to manage at the site level, but now can speak to what is happening at a national level and then ramping that up to regional level. What I would like to definitely encourage is, so this question I asked about sea surface temperature, for example. I know there are other data sources for sea surface temperature. I don't know if it's done nationally, if there's a national database on that, if there's, but I know at a regional level and global level, there's sea surface temperature data and other types of data that would be relevant for that is relevant. The CPAG also can pull data sets from those existing databases and vice versa. So the idea here is really to encourage the information coming in to be as accurate and up to date as possible. The team has demonstrated the capacity to be able to manipulate and devise and come up with strategies to make that data usable. And I would like to encourage, so we have NEPA in on the call. So you're the government agency with responsibility for management of the natural resources in Jamaica. I'd like to encourage you to, have a sit down with the data users, your data manager, your managers, and actually come up with a system that can help to standardize the data across the country, so that you can start to do your comparisons. That is always going to be an issue until we can devise, until we actually come together as a region and at a national level to have a standardization of data, because we will always have data in different forms. And one of the issues we do have right now is being able to compare the information within country and across the countries. So I would like, that is something that we will definitely be working with OECS Commission and other regional partners on once we are able to move forward with the CPAG being entrenched within the OECS Commission, and they advance on their regional environmental information architecture. But I'd like to also just encourage on a national level, since I know I have most of the Jamaica team here, to start to consider what does that look like for Jamaica? What should be the standards in place? And for other colleagues on the call in other countries, what is happening in your country that you can start to have these conversations with the management authority, which is the government, to start with? How can we start to standardize data and information so that you can have comparison across sites to demonstrate the good work that is happening on the ground, because all of these organizations are doing fantastic work to monitor, manage, and maintain our natural resources that make up our and that our economies are reliant on. So I just want to again congratulate the team and encourage everyone to continue to work together. Let's find the ways to make this work, because this is exactly what the CPAC is meant to do. Thanks.
Hi, Miss Hyacinth, Miss Douglas. I completely agree, and the agency also agrees. And what the agency is currently doing is under the Ramsar Convention, there's sanction to implement we're mandated, to implement a national wetland inventory. Under Ramsar's definition of a wetland, it extends out to 6 meters into the ocean, so it does cover some reefs within the area. And what we're currently doing is we are going across the island to all our agencies, all our MPAs, everyone that is a stakeholder to the Ramsar committee, and we're collecting data. We're trying to standardize this data across the island, and we're going to start with the National Wetland Inventory. And the aim is to, once the inventory has been established, we're going to expand to a national data bank. So what we're trying to do is we're in the initial phases of collecting data and trying to see how each entity is collecting their data. And then we're going to try and move forward with a standardized process. One of our projects that there's a regional project, that is called the International Climate Change Initiative Project for Wise Use of Wetlands, which is a regional project where we go into where we have several partner countries, 8 partner countries who are developing national monitoring and evaluation plans, as well as wetland inventories. So we have all stakeholders and all doing this national workshop with MPAs such as CCAM and entities such as IOJ, which manage wetland sites. CCAM has a wetland site which falls within the MPA as well. So their information, they're also benefiting from the standardized monitoring protocol. The hopes is that in a few years' time, everyone will be doing the same data collection, because the output would be a national monitoring and evaluation plan that any entity can pick up, and they will know exactly how Jamaica conducts their monitoring and evaluation. So what you're saying is within the framework currently. We haven't started. Development stage, so we've reached out to a few stakeholders, but we'll be ramping up speed in the coming months.
Thank you for that, Ms. Miles. And the project that you mentioned, the wetlands project, is that the one being managed by IUCN? The regional project?
Can you repeat that for me?
The regional project that you mentioned on wetlands, wise use of wetlands, that is being managed by the IUCN as well?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I am going to reach out to my colleague on that project to again see how this work can be integrated. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Tamara. And we, as the protected area managers, we look forward to, all these developments, the standardization. We are currently working with NEPA, and so the protocols that are being worked on, AGRA and Reef Check, are the protocols recommended by NEPA. So that's why we're starting with those, but we realize there are some sites that also have some other monitoring data. But I agree with Tamara that we need to edge, consistently towards standardization. Hyacinth Douglas, your question in the chat, who monitors this site? Are you referring to the CPAG site?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So CPAG team, you can. It's fun.
That
So
would
who
be
manages?
NEPA.
For 2 kilometers.
Right. So I understand you to be asking whose responsibility is to make sure that the site, the platform remains up and running and secure. And that question is the CPAG is responsible for that.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if you had missed it, Tyson, but CPAG was under UWI and is being migrated over to the OECS, right?
Yes, that's correct. So it's going to be, we're setting up the agreements now to have the CPAC be within the OECS. So actually, again, this exercise that has been done today is one that I also want the OECS Commission to be able to see. And again, understand exactly what is the value of the CPAC to their regional environmental information system. Because again, OECS is, while they support their member countries through this integration of the CPAC, they will also be supporting the wider Caribbean community. And then, of course, CARICOM is the other entity that I also want them to, again, understand how this process can really support the region. So to respond to you, Hyacinth, my namesake, the platform will be sustained currently under the OECS, but over the next year and a half, we would also be working with other partners to see how we can inject further investments into ensuring that the platform supports the region long term.
Yeah. And I just said, with regard to moving forward as well, we were able to make a lot of progress over the last year because of the GEF Small Grants Program funding. And it has brought us to a critical point. However, there's still a lot of work to be done. And I can see that there's potential for us to develop projects to carry on the work that we've done. There are many features that we'd like to develop, and to support those features, we're going to have to, in some cases, generate the data, collate the data, train the MPA managers, and yeah, so I can see that there's a lot of scope for us to continue from this project with additional projects. So I think, on the side of the funders, we're looking to you guys to, hopefully support some of these type of initiatives. And on the part of the managers, we need to be thinking about how we can projectize. There's a lot of work to be done, but we can break it up into steps and create projects that just advance us.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we
Yes. Thanks, Idolite. Sorry, I just think I'm not so techie savvy. But I like the way you talk, because this is the purpose of donors in countries, to support their development and help them to protect the natural resources that they depend on. However, there are some things that, while the community, in other words, we want to see stronger partnerships with between governments and communities like you, because as most of us can see, and for those who have worked with NGOs, that the incorporation of local knowledge is critical, always a critical thing. And they always, in most cases, know best. And it's for us to, support. It wasn't easy to have our government put their trust in community groups to do this type of establishment of sanctuaries with, the level of criteria and gathering data and sharing. So we're working, we continue to work. As I said, it's partnership. The partnerships, step 1, partnership step 2, it's strategic, it becomes strategic, it becomes strong. But one of the things, as we go ahead with this site, it would be good to have information on it as well, that would target even private sector in terms of the benefits of the information. And I also saw a section where we have news and events that come up with, practical things that will attract people, because we always want the support, because it's all good. People will start things and they said, oh, we're not interested, and just leave the site. But, whatever support you all need, get into networks or whatever it is, we are here to support the team, because I think this is a solid step that we have. I don't think there's no turning back here, because, nothing beats data. And if it's been sustained and maintained at the community, I mean, we can't go wrong. We're on the right track. So congrats again to the team, and we're here and we're working with you guys.
Thanks, Hyacinth. Okay, so we have arrived at 11:32, the end time for this meeting. I just want to really thank everyone for attending and sticking through with us. I think we had about 26 persons in total, and we still have 24 at the end. So some persons probably just had to leave. I hope that the information was, useful to you, and that one of the things I know CPAG wanted to do out of this is to also encourage other countries, and not just in the marine space, but also the terrestrial space, to see the value of, what the collaborative approach that we are taking can produce. And I hope that the platform continues to be a valuable tool. I know it will be one for us. And the stronger the platform is the better it is for us. So we hope that others do see the value, invest, and we can make it great, continue to be greater and greater. So is there any closing remarks you want to make, Hyacinth Vaughn?
No, but just to say again, congratulations to everyone, and looking forward to seeing the CPAG grow, and the work on the ground. As my namesake said, the work on the ground is important, and it's what would restore and maintain what we have. So let's continue to strengthen that process, and it will just be a trickle of effect to the entire regional process. So thanks again. Please engage, and congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, take care, everyone.